Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal. I want to talk about some pretty interesting stuff about why the narcissist rages. Some people think that it could be due to serotonin, but there's some pretty interesting things that I'd like to go over. So the question, can it be a result of chemical or biochemical imbalances? Because the narcissist moods, they will change very, very quickly, and they're different than bipolar, because bipolar is internal. When it's a narcissist with NPD, it's always to an outside source. And it's their perception of what they're getting from the outside stimuli, whether it's the need for to be left alone or to have communication or be adored. It's something that the narcissist will perceive, that they're either not getting the attention, or they feel that we're judging them. So certain things like that. So it's different than bipolar. NPD is from an external something, and it's kind of sad because we're trying to love them, just us doing something, whether we made too much noise. That's an outside stimuli that they're reacting to, and that'll cause the rage, and it can happen in just a split second. So following whatever narcissistic injury that they get, they can become depressed, they can sulk, or even go into those raging fits, and sometimes they even black out during that time. And they can just have that prolonged for long periods of time. Sometimes too, they do give you the silent treatment. So their external events are from just a narcissistic injury that they didn't feel that they needed to be judged or called out, or also from the narcissistic supply, whether they're getting what they want in life. So it has nothing to do with blood sugar. And there is a possible gene that might affect it too. They're doing more research on that. And they're kind of emotionally unable to express what they're feeling. They're kind of like flat, and they get like so upset that they don't know how to handle it, because they don't know what to feel, because they don't feel anything other than this like wave of anger. And it is they can be depressed. They can go through cycles of seeming extremely happy or extremely angry. And they also, this is the thing too, though, with MPD is it often is not the only disorder that they have. They often will have OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. They have to have things exactly how they want them, where they'll check things over and over. They'll be irritated if things are in disarray. And sometimes their compulsion can just be, it might seem disorganized to us, but it's their chaos. It's the way they want it, and they're obsessed with how they want things. Sometimes it can be physical, where the way that they look, they're obsessed with their clothes or their hair. Each one's different, but each person is different. So they don't really react to medication. Now, there are other problems, whether it's OCD or other cognitive issues, can react through medication, but narcissism itself doesn't. And sometimes if they are on other medications, it can have an adverse effect. It'll be like the opposite. So they're still trying to figure out exactly about this serotonin, because they don't have any intrusive methods to kind of measure the exact brain and the central nervous system. But they do kind of use guesswork. There are some brain imaging to where if there's a certain area that should be releasing certain chemicals, if that area isn't really there completely, they're not getting as much or too much, And I did a video on the brain scans, the activity. And men and women are also different. Just men at rest have less brain activities, and women, when we're resting, we have more brain activity going on. That's why a lot of times women, we say, I don't even know exactly, but like 4 times as many words as a man does. We also tend to, not always, but we tend to seem to need to communicate our thoughts and our feelings, because things are going more than in a male brain. And that might be part of the reason that the men seem to be more narcissistic at in overall. There are more men. There are female narcissists. There's probably something going on with the balance of the brain activity, also with the trauma that they went through as a child. They're just trying to get back to a comfort level because they're so uncomfortable in this adult world, to where you know, they grew up in a household that was dysfunctional or had outside influences, whether, I don't know, maybe the grandma babysat all the time that was narcissistic. They have love and dysfunction, overcompensation and undercompensation. So the kid doesn't know what's normal. Or if they had 2 narcissistic parents, it's always chaos. Those are usually the more vulnerable ones, because as a child, they were vulnerable. They were always talked down to. They never had a safe place to sit or eat, or no matter what they did. And the opposite is for the grandiose ones. They're trying to find comfort. And the only time they can feel comfort is, you know, where it's like, do I go this way? Do I go that way? And they're like ping ponging between their emotions. And when they stay still, they feel like they have nothing. They don't know which way to go. So their brain works so differently. And it was kind of like a survival technique for them when they were children. You know, they needed love, but they had to interact with the other parent, so they had to learn coping skills. Maybe they had to lie so the parent wouldn't beat them, you know, and their coping skills have become ingrained in them. Also with the lack of the brain tissue, they're pretty messed up, and there's no cure for it. It will continue. They can change somewhat, but it's going through the motions. They need to get back to that chaos level, because they're just going through the motions. And when they do that, they're stuck in that middle ground. And when they're in that middle ground, it's like a freak out mode. And if they see some of their traits within us, whether they project them onto us, they don't handle it the right way. They got to get rid of their emptiness by taking from us, and they disrupt. It's because if you remember those examples I just gave, there wasn't a consistent love pattern. They had somebody who overindulged them in the one scenario, to where that's their safe spot. And they have to have that. But the outside world is not like mommy or daddy. The outside world sees you for who you are, and you're not always the best. But the narcissist is craving this adoration because the other parent was abusive to them. So they picked up the abusive traits just because of being around it. And mom or dad, whoever the overcompensating parent was, probably also overcompensated the negative person. So the narcissist sees the negative parent being overcompensated, so they act that way to get even more of that safe spot from them. But it's taking and taking and taking without consideration for what they're doing. But if they think about it, they're too afraid that we're not going to like them. And it's screwed up how you would think giving them the love, they would be so thankful for it. you know, because we're thankful when we're in love with somebody. We thought that's what we were doing. And then all of a sudden, that angry little child comes out, the frustrated child who has to go back to their comfort level. And now that they're adults and they're with us, their comfort level is unachievable with a loving person. They see it as like a weakness in a sense, because let's say mom was the overcompensating one, could be the other way, but let's say mom was overcompensating and dad was a angry narcissistic rager. And so all this love, which should be great, that should be the kid's safe spot, right? But the kids got to see that you're kissing dad's butt. Like, he does not deserve it. Like, I can see that. So when they get the love, they also know that they're like their other parent, and they see mom as like a weak fool because they see mom kissing his butt all the time. So when they get love from us, we're seen as a weak fool. So they'll take advantage of us, because once they start seeing it, something goes off, and it just becomes unsettled. And it's like, you know, they just want a fresh start, you know, kind of like, you know, if you were taking a college course and you're like, you know, this is not going well. I need to get out. I need to drop this class. Otherwise it's going to fail. I'm going to get an E. So you just drop out, and not that I'm saying you should, some of us struggle through, but there are times when you got to think like, if I stick this out, it's going to fail. And that goes on my permanent record. So they withdraw from the relationship because they see it failing. And it's not always that they see that we failed. They just see that it's a destructive, not working environment, whether it was their fault, our fault, whatever. Every relationship they're going to be in will be dysfunctional. So they will keep bailing on people. They will always try to sign up for a new course, try to sign up for a new supply, a new person, just because it's like, this is going to fail. Why wait till the end of the semester? Why wait till the end of a relationship? Let's just bail, start new. And then sometimes too, they'll like look back like, should I have tried harder? Should I have worked that out? Nothing else is working out in life. And so they'll hoover back. But they're still struggling. Same topic, same relationship that they were in. They don't correct the mistakes that they made. So they're just picking up where they left off, as opposed to rebuilding that foundation, whether it's foundation in that education where you're like, what areas, what, you know, if you're doing, I don't know, geometry, what areas of the math didn't I understand? Because now, you know, if you start from the ending point and move forward, that foundation is so destroyed, whether it's a relationship, education, whatever, until they correct what issues that they caused, and until they allow us to connect with them and work through some of our shortcomings that we did. Sometimes we get too needy. We need to back off. We need to, you know, communicate better too. So moving forward, it's a rocky foundation that's always going to fall apart. The narcissist, how we get jealous of this new supply, the narcissist is always just having all that baggage, and they're always trying to move forward. So the new supply is just always from this point forward. It's not, let's work on me, let's change things, let's self-reflect. They don't have time to do that, because when they get into a new situation, a new dating situation, it's often instantaneously. And they also will, what do they call it, monkey branching, where it's kind of like how monkeys, they'll hold on to that one branch till they can grab onto the other, and that's how they like swing through. They just make sure that they're not going to fall, because they always, if they have to go back this way or they have to go this way, that's what the narcissist is doing in their relationships. Let's set up, as soon as I get a hold of the new supply, I can let go. And does that monkey even care about that branch they just let go of? No, not really. They're just trying to get to where they're going. And that's what the narcissist does. They're just trying to get to where they're going, but they have no direction. They just want this facade that's unachievable. It's distorted. It's going through life clueless on what they, because they don't see that, let's say it was a marriage that they wanted. They had it. Or a really good loving person. They had that. And so to say that they're going through life for those goals in life, they don't know how to hold on to it, because to them it's kind of like a bucket list. And as soon as they check off, up baby, okay, up marriage, up whatever, doctorate degree, what, everything is just check marks. So it's important to them until they check it off. So if they get into this marriage, it was a check mark. We don't need to do it anymore. We checked it off the bucket list. So they look at things differently. I thought that was a good little point about the bucket list, because a lot of marriages, as soon as the marriage happens, that's when the relationship is over. And that's when you should like set yourself free and just to become one. And you should have somebody always by your side. It should be so exciting. And, you know, you should be with your favorite person, and how exciting that is. But they see it differently. So big hugs to you, and I will see you in the next video. Please subscribe and comment below. Have a good day.